Good morning, you feel me? October 12th, 2020. It's a Monday. Um, Back on track, man. Back on track. Second green day in a row. The stock we're going to talk about is WIMI. Market cap 350 million. Float 12.48 million. And as you can see, the history of this stock, which is what got me interested, huge runner here, and then a huge. So in 2 days, it went from $4 to almost $30. Okay, and this is it today. So if we go here, as you can see, basically almost a 4% gain today. I did have a 4.2% gain on it, but it took me 2 trades. Which realistically, it didn't necessarily hit where I wanted to exit, but it just looked weak at the first purchase. So I basically sold it at break even for about 1/3 of 1%. So basically like $3, which is why you see it a little under 4. Because the first time I entered at the breakout. So if you watch the previous videos, I'm starting to get my mind back into discipline and in for me to only take 2 trades now, which is the multi-day breakout, the high of the pre-market breakout. Okay, so if that doesn't happen, then I want a later day play move, which as you can see, or as of right now, it's 10 o'clock, a little past 10 o'clock a.m. West Coast time. So I wanted it either, if I'm not going to buy a pre-market breakout, the break of a pre-market high, okay, then I want to buy an intraday high breakout. Those are the only 2 I want to play now. As of right now, until I get this back on track, if it's not a pre-market break of the pre-market high, I'm going to patiently wait until after 9 o'clock to buy an intraday break of a high. Okay, so nothing was really going on in the scanners. You know, I've been up since 6 o'clock. So, you know, it's 10 o'clock now. So 4 hours in. And I finally caught a move of like as you've seen right now, we're seeing ramp up here. Remember when I was talking about flashing? If you watch any of my previous videos, I like it when they're flashing. Because flashing means they're moving, man. And as you can see, it's moving. And you're seeing flashing over here, flashing down here, flashing over here. Okay? All right, so 937 was the first buy, which was right here of the break of the high of the intraday high. Stick to the plan. So the intraday high was at 662, and I bought it in this candle. So once it broke here, it broke at 936, and I bought it slightly on the dip in the next candle, which is what I like to do. Also, like I said, I want to wait for it to break, pull back a little bit, and take off. Well, this was showing strength all day. As you can see, this is the daily. Started off, nothing really going on. No real news either, other than I'm assuming it's just squeezing because it doesn't have a lot of volume. At the time that it broke in here, it was trading the float. It was just trading a little over 12 million shares. Which is the float. So the float already rotated once, and I'm pretty sure that caught a lot of eyes. And then also it popped up on the top 10% gainers list for NASDAQ. So I originally bought here at the 937 of the break of 662. My order was executed at just about $6.61. But I'm playing scared, which is smart, right? So I already have in my head now, I want to play a -2. Okay, I don't want to go as soon as I'm down -2%, I'm cutting it. -2, period. And I want to play a +3, +4, +5, depending on how fast the movement is. So depending on what I'm seeing here, and as you're seeing, it's still moving. And now it just broke even higher. And realistically, I was in at 661, and as you see, 7, so it already moved $1 since the time I got in, which if I'd have just maintained, that would have been a 15% move, okay? But again, I'm comfortable with where I was at. I'm comfortable. This is my comfort. Exiting at 4%, exiting at 5%, exiting at 3. And I'm comfortable just cutting it at 2. So so originally when I purchased here in the 937, I sold it at 943, which is in this slight bounce because it just started to look weak to me. As you're seeing, the volume's just fading off, multiple reds in a row, even though this has been choppy. So it did have a nice run, run up to the 640s, then pulled back to below 6, and then popped back up and broke, and then pulled back. So it could have had a big pullback just based off what I seen from this particular part, because it topped here 640, pulled back down to 595. So that's a big move. That's a over 40-cent move, and on 150 shares, that's a minus 5%. So when I started seeing all this red, as you can see, through, and then this big red candle came in right here, and as you can see, because the volume started fading off, okay, and it's fading off red. So if you're seeing this red one, or I'm sorry, you see this green one had a big green pop, but then a big red, another big red, slow down a little bit, and then speed it up. So you see these two reds are almost the amount of here. So this candle was 323 shares traded green. Then we have 266 and 255. So over 500,000 traded red against this one green. And then here we go, another red. And then when this one just dropped, it dropped to about 1.5%. And at that point, it had me believe that it could continue dropping like we seen in the beginning of the move. So I said, I'm just going to cut it. Even though I had -2 waking up this morning, I said, I'm not going to take no more than -2. -2 is going to be my max today, period. And I am now going to refocus my mind to doing that on a daily basis. I will not take more than -2 on any given day. Okay. So I got a little jumpy. And so when it was down here about 1.5%, it caught a little bit of a bounce. And just to play it safe, I just exited for basically break even. I only lost $3. And I called it, hey, I'm just going to call it break even. Again, another rule of mine that I have to stick to is a max of 2 trades per day. No more than 2 trades per day. Okay? And as you see, even here, it dropped even more. Boom, boom. So that's a 30-cent drop from where I entered it. Okay? And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad I got out there. And then it started consolidating for a while until about, oh, I'm sorry. I'm over here on the wrong side. This is where I'm at. Yeah, this is where I purchased. And then 943. I sold it here. Dropped a little bit more. And then it finally broke through. Boom, had this big green candle, okay? So now in my mind, because like I said, day traders and traders, they like using solid dollars as, support and resistance. So I said, okay, well, if now that it's running, if it breaks 7 in here and it holds 7, I want to get back in for the break of the high, which is what I did. And at 9:55, in this candle, when it broke again, intraday break of 7, I got in at 7:06. And now this time, because of the strength of what I'm seeing in this chart, I said, okay, now I'm sticking to -2, because the first time, as I said, it didn't hit -2. It hit -1.5. And I just wound up exiting with basically break even when it had a slight bounce, because it looked like it could potentially drop 4 or 5% before it took off, and I didn't want to risk the 4 or 5%. So I got back in at the break of 7, and I stayed in it until 9:55. So held on for about a good 13 minutes. and then I sold it in this pop. Wait, that don't make no sense. Hold on. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's when I bought it. Let's see, 9.55. Yeah, this candle's when I bought it, when it broke over 7. And then 10.05. And in this pop right here with this big volume bar is when I sold it into the pop for a plus 4.2% on that trade, which was my goal, 4%, 3 or 4%. So if I'm playing a -2 plus 4, -2 plus 3, as my data have showed, in the long run, it's profitability for me particularly, right? So we're all different. Where's your comfort zone at, right? Where am I comfortable playing this market, right? This is for me. That was completely comfortable. Yes, it's now up to 775 and it continues to go. As we can see here, boom, boom, still moving. And it's probably going to break this because it's consolidating again. It's probably going to break the high of 785, which is nice. And as you can see, the main catalyst that I like and that pretty much all traders will like is this previous run. Boom, from $4 to $29.50. That is what's making everybody pile on right here. They're seeing a nice gradual climb. They're seeing it move. Oh, it's looking beautiful. Those are my strengths. That is what I'm good at. When I'm catching this momentum, when I'm catching it moving at a high rate, when I'm buying the intraday high break, when I'm buying the pre-market high break. I started looking through my data and noticed that the majority of my big losses came from me trying to buy the morning spike reversal, which is very similar to a dip buy play because it pretty much is a dip buy. I'm just buying the break of the bounce of the dip. And those have been eating me, man. So, you know, it's always a constant review. It's always a constant learning process. And like I said, so I had to go through. What am I good at, man? You know, where am I comfortable? What are the numbers telling me? You know, numerically, psychologically, emotionally. I have to go through all this data to understand where's my comfortability. And so today, 4% gain. Comfortable. And I mean, it was nothing for me to take it. -2 plus 4. And it was nice. It was beautiful. It works. Works for me. And as I said, it's probably going to break the 785. It's in the high 70s right now. And I wouldn't doubt it breaking through that. And then again, if it breaks 8, because like I said, this has ran from $4 to $29. So that puts a lot of traders. Look at the volume on here. Had its pop, pulled back, and the volume keeps getting higher and higher. It is now trading at 30 million shares, so the float rotated twice already, going on rotating 3 times. And it will most likely keep pushing and keep pushing. But for me, perfectly comfortable with capturing this move. That was a nice 28 cent move, which is great. Okay? So, you know, just getting back on track. So after the huge, you know, I'm chipping away, man. So in the last 2 days of trading, you know, I've made 9%. 9% in the last 2 days. And that's the whole key, man. Slow growth, man. So if I'm taking, you know, 3%, 4%, 5%, and always cutting it at 2%, winning at a 50% win rate, when it comes to those specific numbers, when I'm trading within that range of numbers, come on. That's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So I'm very, very happy with the execution of today's trade. A little shaky for the first one, you know, and winded up cutting it even, basically a -$3 loss. But then noticing that, okay, no, it is showing strength now. So now I could be a little patient with it to make sure I capture my 4% move. And that's exactly what I did. And I captured a 4.2% move on the second trade to finish the day with a little under 4%, which is beautiful, man. And it's just the understanding. You feel me? It's just the understanding of my comfort level in the market. Yeah, this could keep running, but who gives a shit, man? It's, you know, who gives a shit? I mean, yes, you know, maybe the more I get used to and just consistent with the -2, +3, +4, +5, depending on the strength of it, you know, I gotta continue with that. And fuck all the, okay, yeah, it ran. So what I've been noticing, okay, see, now it ran, right? So now it's up about 20% from my previous first position, which was 660, okay? It ran up to 785, from 660 to 785 on 150 shares. That's about almost a probably 18 to 20% move, okay? Psychologically, I've been noticing these, and then that's what deviates me from the -2 +4, okay? That's what deviates me. I'm like, excuse me. It's something I notice about myself, okay? We're talking about me here. This is my shit, my data. This is what I do, okay? Everybody trades different, man. So I realize for me, psychologically, when I see these, in the past, and what I've been noticing, like when I got my ass kicked on PPSI, is that I'm allowing the previous day runner to influence my decision making for the next day of what I want to execute. I was doing great with the -2 +3 +4. I was profitable after 30 trades of -2 +4. Knowing, but seeing a good runner like that in the previous day now said, psychologically, well, if it happened yesterday, it could happen today. And then it kicked my ass. When I was up 4% on PPSI, I could have took that 4%, but no, it kicked my ass. And then now today, I took my 4%. Yes, it keeps running, but who gives a shit? I got my 4%. I'm out. Which is what now psychologically I'm adapting to for myself, is regardless of if it runs, regardless of if it drops, if I'm up 3, 4, 5%, I'm taking it. Period. Period. -2, I'm out. Period. Period. -2, that's it. -2 and I'm out. Period. Okay? So exactly why I record these, man, because I rewatch them all the time, man, and I see where's my mindset at. You feel me? And yeah, who gives a fuck? Okay, this ran. But again, it could have easily dropped too. As you can see, when I bought at the breakout here, it did pull back. Pulled back -1.5. Well, it could have easily dropped. It could have. But it ran. And that's the point, man. So I got to stick with my comfortability level. It's very obvious to me that numerically in a hot market, -6 +13 can be profitable. But psychologically and emotionally for me, it just has me on that, whoo, you know what I mean? And why do that to myself when clearly I'm profitable if I just stick to the -2 +3 +4? Because -2, if I'm averaging roughly around 4% gain, which I'll go through my data because my gains are actually continue to get slightly higher, because I was roughly taking about 2 to 3% gains. Now I'm upping it to noticing that they're moving a little bit more. So, I'm upping it slightly to +3 +4. And, if I'm lucky, it'll pop a little bit faster and get a +5 or +6. But +3 +4 is that range. And it showed, man, I was averaging -2% a loss, which I'll recalculate. Because like I said, I still took those losses from PPSI on my day trade. So I'll recalculate. But I'm assuming, because some of those trades were -1, -1.5, that I'm still going to be roughly around -2% per loss. And then when I was maintaining that range of selling within that range, I was +2.6, +2.7 average. Average 50% win rate. Okay? Do the math. 50%, I'm winning 2.7%. 50%, I'm losing 2%. That means I'm averaging 0.7% per trade when I stick to that range, okay? For me, that's for me. That's that range, man. You know what I mean? So it's just putting in perspective, and it's funny because this account, this one, I got 3 accounts, like I said. In this account, I continue to do great on this account. Second account, like I said in the last video, I'm under where I would like to be from where I started, but I'm still there. I'm not like, wiped out like the third account. The third account is about a little more, probably about 60% left of that account when I started, and that happened to be my smallest account though. So you know, in hindsight, again, man, I'm not out this game. I'm not out this race. You feel me? It's just a matter of constant adjustment and understanding and sticking to my rules. And that's another thing that I just understood now, like getting deep in my mind of, it's not just about where am I purchasing, you know, what is my minuses and what is my pluses, what's my risk, what's my reward, where's my entry point. It's also about the rules you set for when you're trading, like making sure, okay, if I am down 2% on the day, be done for the day. Cut that day out. Don't allow yourself to go under 2% on the day, okay? And also, you know, I noticed the times I had big ass fucking losses on days were because I'm executing 3 trades, 4 trades, 5 trades, 6 trades in a fucking day. Stop doing that. Those are the rules that are important. It's the small details of rules that are important for your growth and for you to continue to be profitable in the long run. I can't allow a nice runner to influence my decision for the next day. And I notice I've been doing that, and it's such a great thing that I'm noticing it. Because when I stick to what I'm good at, man, I'm good. I'm profitable. So why deviate from profitability? It don't make sense. You know, so it's constant adjustment, man. And obviously, the -6 plus 13 just didn't meet my comfort level. And like I said, in this particular market, if I would have stayed at that, my win rate would have been roughly about 27% win rate, but I wouldn't have as much loss as I have right now. Because the wins that I could have potentially, like this one, I could have made 13% here. Yes. But the wins, I would still be down, but not as much. Because I would have wound up taking the plus 13s every time I entered. But you know, I'm not comfortable with a 27% win rate. That's not comfortable for me. Okay, even though at the end of the day I'd only be still down just maybe -11%, and that's on my position. When obviously clearly PPSI in one day I was down -34% on a position. You get what I'm saying? Because I constantly change. I'm going from a -2 plus 3 to back to a -6 plus 13, and then when -6 plus 13 doesn't work, I go back to a -2 plus 3 when -2 plus 3 been working this whole fucking time. So just stick to there, because the -6 plus 13 isn't working for me psychologically or emotionally, because it's just giving me too much anxiety, because it's, you know, it's the win rate isn't there in this particular market. But the win rate for a -2 plus 3 plus 4 is there. I'm perfectly happy winning 50% of the time, because I'm winning. My wins are higher than my losses when I stay in that range. Originally, I wanted to play MDLY for the breakout of the high, which was 266. But I don't like buying it instantly at the market open. It did pop. And if I accidentally fucked up. I don't know. I was doing math wrong. At 266, for some reason, I put 700 share position size, which is way, way over what I could afford in this account. Because, like I said, I started all accounts slightly over 1,000. Because to discipline myself to always trade with the position size no more than 1,000. So that was for a discipline reason why I did that. And so I don't know why I put 700 shares. So 700 shares times 2, so 266 times 4, 400 is more than 1,000. So times 7, so it's like almost a $2,000 position size. And so it just rejected me and said I don't have enough capital. And so I'm glad it did, because I did try to initially buy it at the right when the market opened, which I normally don't, which was stupid. And I'm glad it rejected me, even though it actually popped. And I would have been up over 3%. Because if I would have got, I would actually could have potentially captured 4%, because I believe it was at, let me see. Yeah, 266, and it rejected me. And then it popped to 278, so that would have been a 12-cent gain. And if I would have just stuck to 400 shares and not try to execute more, that would have been, oh look, see, it just broke this high now. See, and that's what I'm looking for, man. I want to just see strength in intraday, man. Just buy the high. And I mean, this is beautiful. And look, it just squeezed. So, you know, you could have bought the high of 785 and automatically you're already up, you know, 20 over 20 cents a share. You know what I'm saying? And that'd have been on 100 shares, that's a 2% gain. If I'd have had 150 shares, that'd have been a 3% gain. That'd have been another 3%. But yeah, originally this was it. And then, but it got halted and it still hasn't came back from a halt due to some kind of news pending. And it's been halted ever since this morning, since 6:30. And it's already 10:30 and we're not getting nothing. But this is a beautiful run, guys. Beautiful fucking run. Yeah, of course, I had the potential to make a huge gain in here. But I also had the potential to drop and me get screwed over like PPSI. Because when you're looking at it like this, boom, boom, it could easily. And that's what it is. And the volume continues to get higher. And this thing definitely has a potential to run. But why? Like, why do that to myself? Why put myself through that when I could capture 4% easy and be happy and continue to move forward 4% at a time and minus twos? You know what I'm saying? Because this could really drop at any point. At any point, this thing could drop. Because it's already went from $5 to $8 now. At any point, it could drop. Okay? And I have to remember that as well. I can't let this influence me and say, ooh, well, you know, I bought it here yesterday and I made 4%, but I could have made 20. So maybe I should try for the 20% tomorrow. And then tomorrow, I'm holding it. Now I'm down 7. Now I'm down 4%. Now I'm down 5%. And I'm like, well, it could still go. And the next thing I know, I'm down 8%. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm taking a big loss. You get what I'm saying? Just stick to it, man. Obviously, my emotions say this is where I'm comfortable. Mentally, it's good for me. It's nice and easy for me to go a -2 + 4. And numerically in my data, statistically, that's the overall profit range for me. At the end of it all, I'm profitable. So, you know, just stick to that. I got to completely throw the -6 + 13 to the curb. And this is the point, man. This is exactly what trading is, man. You continue to go with thesis at the market. Okay, like I said, man, that -6 + 13 was straight numerical data. Okay, I'm collecting a lot more data now with me actually participating in the market. So participating in the market tells me numerically -2 + 4 works for me in the long run. Psychologically, -2 + 4 works for me in the long run. Emotionally, it's so easy for me to cut a 2%, no problem. And it's easy for me to +4, no problem. Okay? You have to understand that about yourself. You have to. It's a must. Okay? So yes, this keep running. And like I said, you know, if I could have easily, and the whole point was, you know, I was up 4.2%. So, you know, I hit the sell. And it could have easily, in that sell, had another nice push. And it could have executed because I hit sell the market. Because it executes faster. So when I hit sell the market, it could have caught a push as I was clicking that button and executed me at 5 or 6% in a push. And that's what I'm saying. So when it hits the 4, just hit the fucking button. Just push the button if it hits the 4. You feel me? Because it could either be slightly down, which this was +4, but like I said, I was down $3. So 38, 39, 40, 41. So it'd been 41.54. Well, actually, it was $3 and some change. So it would have been the 42. You know, so really a 4% gain on that move. And that was beautiful. I seen 4.2 right here because this was my actual position. So it shows up here. And then this says P&L on the day. Well, this is P&L at the open. So when you have an open position, it'll show you where you're at. And I was up 4.2%. So I hit my button, man. Happy. Perfectly happy. And that's the range for me, man. And it's making me feel so good that I'm finally being able to now collect psychological and emotional data in the market. Because I have the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. But the numbers aren't everything, guys. You know what I mean? The numbers aren't everything. This is a game with your money. You know what I mean? This is a game. Where's your comfort levels with your money? You know what I mean? This ain't no fucking regular 9-to-5 job. Someone else ain't fucking paying me to use their fucking money. This is my money. You feel me? This is my shit. And this is my comfort level in my shit. Okay? And I mean, realistically, dude, if you add them up, because I think the first, when I first did back in September 10th, when I first switched to cater to what the market was giving me and found my comfort level with the -2, +3 in that area, in that range, over 30 trades, I was +7%. And that was in 2 weeks. So, you know, if you do the math, and if I continue down that path, that's basically +14% a month, okay? If I continue down that path, okay? So think about it. If I maintain the -2, +3, +4, and on average, you know, I'm making 7% every 2 weeks, that's roughly around 14% a month. Think about that, okay? 14% a month is amazing in the stock market. If you have a hedge fund or a mutual fund, you're lucky to make 10% annually. That's a year, 10% in a year. So if I have a strategy that could make me 14% a month, do the math. There's 12 fucking months in the year. Okay? So let's do the fucking math. 14 times 12. That means I'm going to grow, I could potentially grow my account 168% for one particular account. Well, actually, I'm sorry, for my net. So, you know, for my net. So if my net's, you know, $4,000 and I made 168% profit, I just turned $4,000 into over 10 grand in 1 year. That's fucking great. You feel me? I gotta quit being greedy, man. It's the greed. It's the emotional process of greed in the market which screws traders over. And as you can see, this is still running. But now I know through my emotional and psychological data that I'm not gonna let this influence me for my next trade. I'm gonna take my 4 fucking percent because that's where I'm comfortable, man. That's my comfort level. And it makes me feel good when I'm trading because it's so comfortable. -6 didn't make me feel good. Okay, that's why I kept having emotional and psychological problems. And that's when I got caught by PPSI because I was trying to catch a big move. My mindset was greed. Give me my money. I was up 4% on that fucker. I should have took it and been happy. But no, greed took over. Fear of missing a big move took over. Revenge trade took over because now I'm down so much. I'm like, nigga, fuck that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So you feel me? Understanding, man. It's a constant understanding game of yourself. And so I've also noticed that's why I'm now eliminating morning spike reversals because I've noticed in my data that's been my biggest struggle is trying to dip buy because that's what my morning spike reversal basically is. It's a dip buy. I just like to buy the break of the first bounce I see, but that didn't work for me. You feel me? And now I'm finding my zone, understanding where I'm at mentally and emotionally. And again, worked for me. Worked for me on Friday, +5%. Worked for me today, +4%. I mean, come on, that works. So understanding that and maintaining that is now key, man. Discipline, 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 discipline. Okay? Discipline, discipline. I found my comfort zone. Now let's stick to it and let's maintain it. And we'll see from there. And hey, for instance, if it just doesn't happen to work in the next 30 trades that I now execute, then we'll have to go back and readjust and figure out what's going on. Was it a mental error? Was it an emotional error? Or was it just numerically not working? Okay. So again, I like finding momentum. This started picking up momentum nicely. I bought the break of the high of the day, the intraday high of the day. With momentum behind it, with strength behind it. And it turned out for a nice 4% gain for me. So back-to-back green days when I stick to this plan. So it's what I have to maintain. And so I'm chipping away slowly at that 32% loss I had, you know, so chipping away slightly. And, you know, watching this thing run without me is beautiful because I could easily, you know, I already executed my 2 trades, so I have to stick to that discipline too, guys. Stick to the discipline of 2 trades per day, man. No more. And also want to stick to the discipline of if I'm down 2%, then don't fucking trade no more for the day. Shut off the computer, relax, take your 2% loss and move the fuck on. Live to fight another day, and we could go at it again tomorrow. All right? So I think that's the key for today. Again, intraday breakouts of the high, pre-market breakout of the high. Stick to those two. Minus 2%, plus 3 or 4%, depending on what I'm seeing in my level 2 and my time in sales. You know, and then I'm gravy, baby. You feel me? I'm gravy. That's what works, man. So it's just a matter of sticking to that. I could separate all the numbers from the minus 6 plus 13 range, put them in the corner, I'm red. Separate all the numbers of the minus 2 plus 3 range, I'm green. Okay? And it's comfortable. It's so comfortable. You feel me? So that's what it is, man. WIMI plus 4%. Very, very happy. Have to stick to this shit. Stick to that plan. It's a constant readjustment. And I think that's the major problem with a lot of traders is that when you're not realizing what the real problem is and digging deep in all your data, all of it. That's why I said, that's why it's so important. And it's so great. These videos help out tremendously. I suggest if you're a trader, a beginning trader, don't matter. If you're not recording videos of your screen and explaining your thought process behind what you're doing, then you'll probably get your ass chewed out quite a few times like I've done in the past and like I did on PPSI. All right? So WIMI, low float runner for today. Caught the momentum, beautiful momentum in the push. Scared me out a little bit in the first entry, but that's okay because it didn't cost me nothing. And then just cost me a trade. But hey, you know, like I said, that's fine. Live to fight another day. Cost me just a trade and then caught my 4.2% in the push over here. So, you know, that's the goal, man. Stick to it. Minus 2 plus 4 range. And that's the beauty of it, man. That's actually a 2-to-1 risk reward, man. So, you know, if I might, you know, I'm gonna go through it again, and I'm noticing it's picking up slightly because originally I was doing minus 2 plus 2 to 3, and so now I'm gonna pick it up probably slightly to minus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So somewhere in that range, and if I see a harder push, you know, I might give it slightly more time, but not too much. Just stay within that range and not get greedy, man. These are, you know, little base hits, man. You know what I mean? So I took my base hit today, back-to-back days of base hits, and it worked. So WIMI plus a little under plus 4%, which was nice. Market cap a little higher, but again, potential runner. That's, you know, that's what puts this on people's radars. This big, huge move. Float met my criteria perfectly. Float rotation. When I purchased, it had already rotated once. I've noticed that, you know, in this particular market in the beginning, I was liking floats trading at least 3 times over. But I've noticed it's been getting too crowded, and when they've been trading 3 times over, I've lost more than I won when I'm trading on the back side of the move. But again, I noticed that was when I was trying to capture the morning spike reversals. So I'm trying to capture now just the intraday high break or the pre-market high day break. No longer trying to dip and buy the reversal of it. Just sticking to the intradays and the pre-markets. The high, the high, the high. Buy the high. You know what I mean? And that's what works. So again, you know, now that gives me back-to-back green days. I'm more green than red, even though this one red day is still more than all these combined, because this was a 4%, 5%, 4%. So within that range, you know, if I would have just took my 4% here, we'd have been great, because this was about I want to say a 4% or a 5% loss day. So if I'd have just collected my 4% here, you know, and realistically I was up over 3% on this day. And the majority of these reds, like I said, I was up. You know, and it's a matter of understanding that, man. You have to understand that. That's for me. So, you know, honing in on my data, man. I've never collected data on myself this in depth when it comes to numerical, psychological, and emotional. And this is the first time I'm collecting this much data, particularly. Before, I used to just collect whether I win or lost, what the ticker was, and what was the news catalyst. That's pretty much all I collected in the past. And now, as the evolution of my trading journey, I am now collecting more and more data, and I will forever be a student to this game. I'll never be discouraged because I'm a constantly learn. What's the next step of learning? And that's where I'm at now. I'm at that next step, that next level of evolution in my learning for trading and understanding, okay, now where am I at mentally and emotionally in the markets compared to just, well, when I buy this break, what's the number? That's it. Is it going to work or not? It doesn't work like that, man. It just doesn't. You have to tie your emotions and you have to tie your mindset into what's going on and not just, your entry point, exit points, and stuff like that, but in depth, man. You got to get really in depth. So again, WIMI plus 4% on the day, low float, momentum play, and I'm happy with staying within that range. So stick to that range. -2, +3, +4, potentially more, depending on the momentum you're seeing in the market. And maintain, because that's what makes me comfortable. So discipline, discipline, discipline. Stick to that shit. Make sure you don't deviate. Don't allow the previous day runners to influence your decision for the next day. Stick to what you're looking at on that particular day and what is that doing on that particular day. And if it goes against you, cut it at 2% and be done for the day, period. Because that way I'll survive in the long run and I'll never take a huge day loss. Because if I'm constantly cutting it at 2% and walk away at 2% minus, then that's great, man. Because then I'll catch, like right now, back-to-back days, +5, +4. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So that's a good day for me. If I'm down 2% on a day, shut my laptop. If I'm up, I gotta still think about that too, because if I'm up I want to say if I'm up 4% on the day as well, shut my laptop. Whether I trade one trade or two trades, shut my laptop if I'm up +4. All right, so I'm gonna solidify that now. If I'm up 4%, shut my laptop. If I'm down 2%, shut my laptop. Either way, I'm gonna finish the day +4 or -2. And stick to that range and everything should be great according to the numerical data. And mentally and emotionally, I'm very comfortable trading within that range. All right? All right. That's it for today. Till next time, continue this journey. Learn from your mistakes. Move forward. Be a boss about your shit. This is a business. This is a business. Treat it like a fucking business. Collect everything you possibly can and review, review, review. You can't run a business if you don't have all the data. Constant review, man. Constant. I review my shit every fucking day. Constant review. When I'm done recording this, I'm going to review it. Again, probably twice today, probably tomorrow, and probably multiple times over because that's what I do. When I get bored, I go back to reviewing data. If I'm doing something else and I notice I'm spending too much time watching my favorite show, I shut it off, go back to reviewing data. That's it, man. Review, review, review is what you got to do. All right. Till next time, man.